Hey everybody, this is Johnny Dim. Welcome to my channel where we take you on craft beer and nerd adventures. Today we're going to talk about 5 overrated beers. This is my list of the top 5 overrated beers. There are a lot of overrated beers, but we're going to talk about 5 today. Before we get started on that, I want to say thank you for watching this video and welcome to my channel again. If you do like this video, please consider subscribing. Number 1, not your father's root beer. This thing is a monstrosity. It is hardly beer. I mean, it's got to be beer to some degree because they put it on the label, and it's illegal, I think, to put beer on the label and it not be beer. So it's got to be beer, but it doesn't taste like it. It gives other beer a bad name. It gives people the wrong idea of what beer actually even tastes like. And it's way too sweet, and it's ridiculous. There's so many things wrong with this thing, all right? And my best guess, this thing is a fad, and it's going to go away pretty soon. Go away. Not your father's root beer. You're not welcome anymore. Number 2, session IPAs. Session IPAs are a far cry away from real IPAs. Some would say that just IPAs in general are overrated because there's so many of them. And so many breweries just put out IPAs because they're kind of, at this point, they're kind of easy because there's a lot of breweries that just throw hops, a lot of hops, into a beer and say, look at our dank IPA. Isn't it dank? Dank, dank, dank. I like that word. But session IPAs, even if you don't like IPAs, are a conundrum. They are a weaker version of an IPA. They're less hoppy, but they're also less body and less flavor from the malts as well. So it's just a weak-ass beer. It's a weak-ass IPA, and I don't like it. Please stop making them. Number 3, Yuengling Traditional Lager. Okay, I get it. Yuengling is the oldest brewery in America or some shit. No one cares anymore. This is a very somewhat typical lager. It's a solid lager. It's not bad, but it's boring, like most lagers in that ballpark. Okay? Yeah, it's cool. I've had some. I've had a lot of it, actually. A friend of mine got me a case. I drank it all, so it's not like a bad quality beer. It's just kind of a boring beer, and I'm sick of hearing about it. Okay? Number 4, Blue Moon. You knew this one was coming, all right? This is Coors Light wheat beer. That doesn't really sum it up. So, yes, I let beer politics dictate some of my beer choices. I'm not going to support major macro brews. I understand that a lot of people disagree with me and just say, whatever the best beer is, that's what I'm going to drink. But I don't want my money going to a company that is bastardizing the craft, okay? So that's kind of what my whole stance on Blue Moon is. Will I drink it on occasion if there's nothing else available? Sure. But I will never seek this beer out because it is a very overrated beer. The only reason you've heard about it and you see it so often is because it is supported by Coors, all right? It's a macro beer, all right? If you're a craft beers fan, you shouldn't be drinking this. Now, I understand, like I said, some people don't agree with the beer politics of it. Aside from that, if you're just talking about the beer itself, there are so many better wheat beers out there. So many. Go grab a good Hefe or something, or Hefeweizen. This is a beer that's mediocre without the adjuncts. And I don't mean adjuncts like rice and things like that. I'm just talking about things that are not hops, malt, yeast, water, things that are not that. You can add adjuncts to a beer and it'd be good adjuncts, good additions. But these adjuncts, you cannot. It's not great to use adjuncts to hide imperfection in a beer. I think that beer without the adjuncts is completely boring. You're just getting the whatever citrus bullshit they put in there. Just stop drinking it. All right? Thank you. Number 5. This one's going to hit home for people here in Houston in the surrounding areas. But Shiner Bock is going to be our number 5. The reason it's on this list is because it used to mean something to drink Shiner. You're talking about 10 years ago. That was really that was actually considered craft beer. Shiner is not considered craft beer anymore, at least in my perspective. It became a macro beer. It is widely available now. And I know for a fact they've changed the recipe a couple times. So my best guess is they made it cheaper. When you make a beer cheaper, you take good stuff out or less of the ingredients, and it becomes closer to water. In this case, Shiner was a good thing for us, especially here in Texas years ago. It's no longer the gold standard for Texas beers. Texas has a lot better beers to offer now. Of course, I mean, craft beer's exploded. It's everywhere. So this beer had its time, and it's done. I'm trying to be respectful of Shiner because it's, like I said, it's highly regarded. Its history is important, especially to this area. I had my first real craft beer wasn't Shiner Bock. It was actually Shiner Hefeweizen, which they don't even make anymore, which I wish they did. I mean, they've completely shifted gears, and it's all about making the money. I'm not against the business making money, but I like my money to go to the small guy, that guy that's doing, putting the blood, sweat, and the tears into his beer, not literally, but putting the hard work in and making a good, solid, quality beer. Shiner is consistent, which all macro brews are, so good for them on that. What's missing from this list is the obvious. Bud Light, or any Bud products, Miller, Coors, all right? Those three. Those are obviously overrated. I didn't want to go with the obvious ones in this list. This section of the video is just telling you I didn't forget about those, and they're obviously overrated, okay? So don't flood the comments with, what about Bud? What about Miller? Yes, obviously they suck, and the marketing tells you they're fantastic, and obviously they're overrated. So we're on the same page. We're good. Those suck. I said it. Now you don't have to berate me. You can berate me from the choices I did make. If you want to actually argue with me or agree with me, please leave a comment and we can have a discussion about this. There's a lot of craft beers that are overrated. What are yours that are not on this list? What is the most overrated beers to you? Let me know in the comments. I would love to have the discussion about it. Thanks again for watching. I just want to remind you again, if you did like this video, please subscribe. It does help me out a great deal. And that's really all I got. I'm going to try to do more beer-related videos in the next weeks or months, however long it takes me to do them. I do appreciate it, and you have a good one.